going through the embarrassment of having to do that, we learned Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, two of their sworn Hollywood enemies, could be looking to buy in the area, with Hello Magazine asking the question, are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce to follow in Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's footsteps? There certainly wouldn't be any little as-ever barbecues between those two couples. But it comes as the salty Duchess has just managed to get a new word into the Urban Dictionary. And this word, I think, could sum up quite a lot of what the Sussexes are currently going through. Unsussexful. You get it? Salty writing a couple of weeks ago, I submitted an application of the best hashtag I ever made to the Urban Dictionary. The application was successful and it's been added to the Urban Dictionary. The description, the name for everything the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, try to do, but it always goes belly up. There's also another term which I'm quite liking. This came from Anthony Dollio, an outspoken viewer, who wrote, the mainstream press never address the core issues. The core issue is that the in-grift us games, how brilliant is that, are nothing but a slush fund for the Harkles' personal financial gain under the guise of a charity. And the scam is this. The king is fine with that and will probably support it so that his son can continue on the grift. Why not? He allowed his brother to continue on with his grift until he could no longer do so. And in reality, he is still supporting his brother financially. So it's all one big grift. I like that. The in-grifters games. If you don't mind, Anthony, I may start using that. But in terms of this Montecito move, the Royal News Network pointing out even
the possibility has sparked a rather unexpected comparison with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, whose California lifestyle and Montecito home have been the subject of intense public interest ever since their move to the United States. Could they be looking for something different? Or is the Sussexes California chapter itself evolving? We don't have enough verified information to answer those questions definitively. But speculation has certainly followed. Then comes Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The couple are already among the most recognizable names in the entertainment and sports worlds. Taylor's career has made her one of the biggest stars on the planet, while Kelce's NFL career has transformed him into a household name far beyond American football. So naturally, any suggestion that they might be considering property in Montecito generates headlines. And that's where the comparison with Harry and Meghan becomes interesting. Both couples represent enormous celebrity power. Both attract international media attention. And both have an obvious reason to value privacy. But there is one major difference. Taylor and Travis don't need a royal narrative to generate interest. Their fame exists on its own. Every relationship development, sporting achievement, concert appearance, or property rumor can become a headline without requiring a connection to another institution. That makes any comparison with the Sussexes particularly intriguing. Now imagine, purely hypothetically, these two couples living in the same relatively exclusive area. Would they socialize? Would they become neighbors who occasionally cross paths? Would there be friendly dinners and celebrity gatherings? Or would their worlds remain completely separate? Nobody outside their private circles can know. And there is certainly no evidence that these couples are enemies in any meaningful personal sense. That's an important distinction because commentary about celebrity rivalries can easily become exaggerated. The more realistic explanation is much simpler. They occupy different corners of the entertainment and public interest landscape. Taylor Swift has built an extraordinary career around music and performance. Travis Kelce has built his reputation through professional.
But if Taylor and Travis move to Montecito, they still won't give Harry and Meghan the time of day. And Harry and Meghan spare arguing, please don't insult Taylor and Travis by associating them in any way with the two grifters. Thank you. This is where the reporting about this potential move came from. The couple said to be eyeing new property elsewhere. This is as part of their new married life. According to our first source, this is the Daily Mail, Swift and Kelce are perusing listings online and think Montecito might be a nice place to settle down. The coastal California town is already home to numerous celebrities such as Oprah Winfrey or Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They love how private and secluded it is. But of course, Resting Dollface and Nancy Sidley have long been suggesting that Meghan and Harry are just quietly putting it out into the real estate world that really they want to get rid of this mansion, that a move is very much on the cards. To Paula Frolic of Paula Frolic Uncensored. I mean, firstly, Paula, I think trying to link Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is ludicrous. I mean, Taylor and Travis have absolutely picked a side, right? So if they are even considering buying it's one of many properties, they wouldn't even spend much time there. But, if they were considering real estate in Montecito, it is clearly nothing to do with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. These two are out and out now on Team Prince William and Catherine.
But also, here's where they are in their life, Dan. They got married. Taylor's in her mid-30s. She's always wanted to be a mom. They are looking for a place where they can raise their family, have kids, and good schools all around. And, Montecito does fit that bill. It is private. A lot of billionaires are there. Security is always around. If it's not yours, it's someone else's. And no high crime rate. The schools are excellent. So I could see why they would want to move there. The good news is Lily and Archie are too old to ever go to school with their children, so they wouldn't have to run into each other at, a bake sale or a PTA event. Now, as for Harry and Meghan selling their house at some point in the next couple years, who knows? But I have very good sources who are realtors in that area, and that house is not up for sale. The kids are enrolled in school for the next couple years, or at least this year. So they're not going anywhere this year. Harry and Meghan will not be moving. So unfortunately for people who think that they are, of course, houses don't last forever. This is not Bagshot Park. I'm sure they will sell at some point, but not right now. They will also not be showing up at any parties that the Sussexes are at. And by that, I mean the Kelces will not be hanging out at parties. If they were, you and I both know that somebody with her selfie stick would run up to Taylor and be like, just a quick one, click, and then post it the next day. And that's not going to happen.
No, they are not going to allow themselves to be anywhere near. Remember, Meghan, and this is when she was still big enough to attract some stars, was so desperate to get Taylor Swift on the Archetypes podcast. She wrote her that handwritten missive. And Taylor, when she makes a decision and she is loyal to someone, she sticks by it. But I think more than that, she was just so disgusted about why you would turn on your own blood relatives in the way that these two did. Taylor is very, very much a family woman through and through.
Well, also, it's funny that you keep showing Taylor backstage with the Waleses, because I had broken the news years ago that Meghan attended a Taylor Swift concert and very desperately wanted to go backstage to say hello. And she was rebuffed with the note saying Taylor just rests her voice before every
And that so
concert.
Isn't true. That so isn't true. Because if there's a celebrity that Taylor wants to look after, she will see them.
Well, also, then, of course, she runs to Beyonce and goes backstage behind Beyonce in a couple months later. And you're just like, oh, okay. But, and where's Beyonce now? She's filing her nails in the corner, just trying to pretend she doesn't see Meghan.
Paula, you have been on the Invictus Games for a long time. What do you think of this new nickname, the Engrift Us Games? Increasing focus on this idea that Harry and Meghan, not that they're doing anything illegal, but just that it's maybe immoral, Paula, to use something like the Invictus Games to advance yourself?
This is
Sport. Harry and Meghan became global figures through their connection to the British royal family and their subsequent decision to step away from official royal duties. The Sussexes property has also become a symbol in discussions about their California lifestyle. When they first established themselves in Montecito, the move was widely portrayed as the beginning of a new era. California offered distance from royal duties and a different kind of personal freedom. But a luxury home is also an enormous financial commitment. Property taxes, maintenance, security, staffing, and the general cost of maintaining a high-profile lifestyle can add up quickly. That doesn't mean a reported desire to move automatically indicates financial difficulty. We should be careful not to turn a property rumor into a financial conclusion. More privacy, different schools, a change in lifestyle, more space. Without verified financial documents or a confirmed sale, it's impossible to know the Sussexes' motivations. And then we arrive at the word that has captured attention. It's a deliberately sarcastic play on the Sussex name and the word unsuccessful. It's also a perfect example of how online culture has transformed the way celebrity narratives are created. And before long, that phrase becomes shorthand for an entire argument about someone's public image. That's where things become subjective. Supporters of Harry and Meghan would argue that the couple have built a successful independent life outside the royal family. They have established businesses, media projects, charitable initiatives, and a global audience.
been around for, well, the Ingriftus has been around, at least in my world, for a while. And it all just goes back to the fact that, Dan, 60 million pounds for 500 people to compete. And again, as we saw in Tom Bauer's book, nobody actually shows up to watch the athletes. They show up for the big concert, which in Vancouver was Katy Perry. And who's going to play in Birmingham? We don't know. But it's just a lot of money, and people are not sure where it goes. And there's not a lot of money left over. So where are you spending this money? How is this allowed to happen? Where are the accountants?
And then you come to the Unsussexful. I like that now in the Urban Dictionary. And actually, Paula, there was a great example of it this week, wasn't there? I mean, I long predicted Cookie Queens was just going to be such a box office flop. I think Harry and Meghan once again showing that they're really naive when it comes to how the entertainment industry works. Like, we can see how much this movie is taking. It's not a good idea for you to put anything out to the box office. Like, these headlines were almost inevitable given the movie is not particularly good, but also just because it's not like Melania, where people who despise Trump and Melania were never going to go and see it, but they were going to talk about it. But actually, people who loved Melania were going to go to make a real point. Meghan doesn't have a fan base that is engaged in that manner because they didn't show.
No, they didn't. And we all knew this was going to happen. It's unfortunate because the Cookie Queen's producers let the people who actually made the movie let Harry and Meghan come in for two reasons. Number one, they thought, well, our small little documentary will get some attention. And it did, because as we all know, Harry and Meghan can get you attention. They just won't get you the right attention. And the only other reason they were brought in as executive producers, which is usually just a money role or a title role, is because the producers thought they could get their movie into Netflix. And Netflix took one look at it and said, no, thank you. You are welcome to shop it elsewhere. And so they went to Sundance. There were no buyers. Finally, a smaller company bought it and released it. But it was just woeful and embarrassing.
Yeah, it really was. Some people also this week suggesting that this wasn't even a particularly good cause for Meghan Markle to link herself to. Sonia Patterson, who has recently launched her own Substack, posting, Meghan Markle failed to do her research. This truth has a big bite. When I first heard Meghan Markle was the executive producer of a documentary titled Cookie Queens, my immediate reaction was, you've got to be kidding. I remembered a 2013 New York Post article, She's Milking the Scouts, about then CEO Ana Maria Chavez earning roughly $393,000 plus benefits while membership fell, staff were cut, and local councils faced pressure. That salary looks modest next to current CEO Bonnie Bakwazi's total compensation of about $955,000 per the latest IRS form. That's base pay, bonuses, housing allowance, and benefits. Other top national executives regularly earn high six figures, yet the girls and families do all the hard work of selling cookies. Troops keep only about $1 per box. The rest funds the organization, including those large executive paychecks. Cookie Queens follows the girls and notes their low return, but never examines the high salaries at the top of Girl Scouts USA. What's most shocking is that Meghan once again appears not to have done basic research into the organization she is promoting and attaching her name to an organization that relies on children's unpaid labor while paying its national leadership substantial compensation. It's pathetic. Paula, do you think that is a fair point? Because one of the criticisms of Cookie Queens is that it is quite focused on money and competition. And actually, even though in some ways it's quite cool that the girls are learning maybe the ways of the business world, a lot of this does seem to butt up against of some of Meghan's more altruistic statements.
Well, there's a couple things going on here, Dan. Number one, no, she did not do any research because she doesn't do that. We saw that with Archwell in the fact that she gave over $50,000 of Archwell money to a organization that was headed by an Islamist. And then was like, oops. And once it was made public by yours truly, they yanked the money immediately. But damage was already done. They don't do research. Meghan didn't even watch the movie because it's not that sweet. It's really about rich kids versus poor kids and how these poor children, the poor ones, not the rich ones, are vying to make enough money to go to summer camp. So no, it's actually quite dark, and there's a lot of dark undertones, which is what the initial reviewers always brought up when it was released at Sundance. Like, I don't know why Meghan is saying this is so sweet and lovely. And also, by the way, she wasn't really even a Girl Scout. She was a Brownie, and also her child, Lily, doesn't really seem to be involved in the organization. As for Girl Scouts people getting paid a lot of money, well, I don't think Meghan would think anything wrong of that. I mean, we just talked about Ingriftus, didn't we?
Indeed. And Paula, I just had a look at the latest figures earlier today, and it's not improving. Now, I know you can say, okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday isn't as big at the box office as Friday, Saturday. But given Friday, Saturday was so bad, really, if the cinemas were going to keep the movie playing, they would need to see some type of word of mouth buzz, wouldn't they? And they're not seeing that, Paula, because on Sunday, it took $118,454. That slumped on Monday to $40,614. Up a little bit on Tuesday to $49,152. But the damning statistic, Paula, is actually it's in a lot of theatres, right? Which means that the
Critics would counter that some of their major commercial ambitions haven't developed in the way originally anticipated. And that's the real debate. Not whether a clever internet nickname is funny, but whether the Sussexes' post-royal strategy has delivered the level of success many expected when they first left Britain. What makes this story particularly interesting isn't really Taylor Swift. It's the contrast between two very different approaches to celebrity. Taylor Swift's public profile is enormous, but much of her professional power comes directly from her work. Her tours sell out. Harry and Meghan's situation is different because their public identities remain closely connected to the royal family, even after stepping away from official duties. The more they attempt to establish an independent identity, the more the public continues to measure that identity against the institution they left. Every new business venture gets compared with royal life. Every new home gets compared with royal residences. Every celebrity friendship gets examined through the lens of their relationship with the royal family. And every move can become part of the larger question. Did leaving the institution make them more successful or less? For now, the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce property story should be treated as exactly what it is, a reported possibility rather than a confirmed move. Likewise, speculation about the Sussexes selling or changing their Montecito property should not automatically be interpreted as evidence of financial trouble or personal failure.
Average taking per theatre for Cookie Queens is now down to $466.86. Now, you know a lot about the economics of Hollywood, and you also know a lot about the economics of the movie business. No cinema can keep a film playing if they're taking $466. Like, they're just going to say, oh, well, we're going to do another screening of The Odyssey. We're going to do another screening of Spider-Man. It's just the economies don't work for a movie that's taking that little money.
No, you're right. I mean, listen, The Odyssey will be playing until you and I are collecting Social Security at this point. But what's even more embarrassing and damning is that Meghan's movie was beaten by a cat compilation video.
Oh my God.
It was literally a documentary, I use that very term loosely, about a bunch of internet cat videos just slammed together. And that is, to me, it says it all, really. It's like, I think Roger Ailes once said about the guy who started Fox News, once said about one of his anchors who was quit. He goes, that's fine. Get a woman swinging a dead cat in Times Square. She'll get more viewers. And I'm pretty sure he was talking about Meghan as well.
Well, he could be. He literally could be this week. Paula, I was fascinated in your Substack earlier this week about Project Diana. Actually, no, this was your News Nation column, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, your News Nation column. Sorry, I will get that right. I also get that delivered to my inbox. I'm a Paula Frolic stan. But this was about something that you have termed Project Diana, and I will let you explain it in detail, but can I just set it up with what you wrote for News Nation? According to YouGov's latest quarterly ratings, just 18% of Brits now view the Duchess of Sussex positively, the lowest she has ever registered, while a crushing 61% view her unfavourably. So you say that Project Diana is backfiring badly. The number landed just as Meghan marked her birthday with a string of posts that had royal watchers doing double takes, a tutorial on building an ice cream sundae in parfait glass, a kitchen dance in a plastic happy birthday tiara, and most eyebrow-raising of all, a photo of her leaping into a pool, clutching balloons in a pose strikingly similar to a famous decades-old shot of Princess Diana jumping into the ocean. So that's why it's not working. But Paula, can you please explain what Project Diana?
There is a school of thought that the PR team is saying, and Meghan, because Meghan, again, her allure to Harry is, my mother sent me to her, and my mother would have approved. And, he's obsessed with his mother. And Meghan wears the perfume. Meghan, if we go, you can go online and just look up Diana and Meghan is wearing all of Diana's outfits. Now, granted, they're not the exact same clothes, but they look very similar. She's going for the similar look. She is going for the similar ethos. She wants people to think of her as Princess Diana, that Diana just blessed her and sent her out this way to her son. And they're just so similar. And it's just really backfiring because people are now just looking at it and going, this is really creepy, girl. You got to stop it. Now, of course, it's also edible. You've got Harry, who is obsessed with his mother, can't stop talking about his mother, will never get over the death of his mother. And trauma consultants say he is still mentally the same age as when his mother died. And he's now, what? Is he married to his mother? That's just weird. And so in trying to be Diana-like and looking like her, trying to act like her, it's just backfiring. It's just got to stop.
Yeah, it really does. Paula, I was also taken this week, by the way, by a new interview that a UK celebrity, Ricky Wilson of the band The Kaiser Chiefs. Have you ever heard of them, Paula? I used to be a
Yes.
big fan back in 2005, I think it was. But he's sort of stayed a celebrity, and he's gone on to be a coach on shows like The Voice here. And he was seemingly giving like one of those puff piece type interviews about, oh, Prince Harry's great. But I didn't actually read it that way, because I think Prince Harry sort of threatened him. But let me just reveal what he said. This is to the Daily Mirror. Kaiser Chiefs frontman Ricky Wilson has shared his honest view of Prince Harry after meeting the Duke of Sussex several times. The pair are thought to have first crossed paths when the youngest son of King Charles reportedly attended one of the band's gigs. Ricky told Hello magazine, this is reported by the Mirror, excuse me, I've met him a few times and I've always really liked him. However, he admitted he can't quite tell whether Harry's laid-back image is genuine. I don't know whether he's pretending to be down to earth or he is down to earth. He said before joking that he's putting on an act of his own. I'm pretending to be a rock star. God knows in this household I'm not, he added. But then he shared details about an encounter with Harry and a visit to Buckingham Palace. He claimed, and this is the interesting part, he claimed he asked the royal for a selfie, and while he obliged, it came with a request. As he was leaving, this is Harry, said, "Don't put that anywhere," Ricky claimed, joking, "I'm not going to risk my MBE by putting up a picture." And I thought, there is a real dark side to Harry, isn't there? Because, of course, anyone who gets a selfie with the prince is going to want to share it. And Ricky Wilson never has.
No, he hasn't. But of course, there is two sides to Harry. And we're seeing it all day, every day now. But remember, back in the day when Harry was still at the palace, he was just seen as this lovely, jolly guy going out, larking with his friends and, of course, loving kids and all this stuff. And since he's moved to America, the darker side has come out. And he's really just revealed himself to who he really is without the palace PR machine as a spoiled, narcissistic, just angry man, not even young anymore, turning into a middle-aged angry man. And I have talked to several friends who actually worked with him. They were in the charity field and they worked with him when he was with the palace. And they said they always couldn't stand him unless the cameras were there and unless he was speaking to somebody with a title or somebody he thought was important. He was absolutely rude and would just demand things left, right, and center.
He is not a nice guy. Honestly, he's not a nice guy. And I think very often his threats are hidden behind humor. Don't put that anywhere. He meant it. And he may have said it in a sort of way as if he was joking, but he meant it. And Ricky knew he meant it. And Ricky hasn't shared the picture, which I think is a shame. Now, Paula, you've got to...
A lot of people...
sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Please finish.
I was just going to say, a lot of people have done parallels between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds with Harry and Meghan. And Ryan, not unlike Harry, does things like, it says something really cutting and it's like, ha ha ha, it was a joke. And, it's
no joke.
A lot of unlikable people are all different in certain ways, but they all are very alike in many.
Indeed they are. Now, Paula, speaking of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, these are the types of people you cover, right, on your new show, The Daily Dose of BS. There it is, Paula. I have no idea how you have time for this. You're doing so much, but this is a new daily YouTube show that you have launched, but it's covering obviously Harry and Meghan, but the wider pop culture world as well.
Well, yes, but it's also it's literally, I read the news. I read everything, mostly so you don't have to. And half the time I go, are you kidding me? But no, what? Don't people remember what happened 6 months ago, 6 years ago, or what they said, or why is this going on? And yes, so every day at 5:30, I like to just kind of not just go through what I like to call the days of our Montecito lives, but also the BS of all of these people who make way too much money for not doing very much, but seem to have a very inflated opinion about themselves. It's actually kind of hilarious.
Well, congratulations. So that is 5:30 Eastern time,
Yes,
which is
yes.
obviously 10:30 UK time, PM, which is quite a good
Yes.
time for British viewers, you know, wanting to switch off from
It's
the
all a
crazy
good time,
world.
and we always end up with something fun.
And you don't have to watch it live, of course. People can catch up whenever they want. Have you spoken about the Perez Hilton situation, Paula? That was shocking.
I
wasn't it?
refuse. I refuse.
Yeah. But
There's many
so
things
dark.
going on there, and none of it is funny.
No.
None of it is ironic, and no.
No, it's really not. It's really not. Paula Frolic, okay, goodness me. So the woman behind Paula Frolic Uncensored, now also the host of the Daily Dose of BS on YouTube. But please keep finding time for us here on Outspoken, Paula, because we absolutely love having you amidst all of your work. It's so great to have you, Paula. Thank you again.
But the fascination is understandable. Montecito has become an important part of the Sussex story, and any potential change naturally attracts attention. And as for Unsussexful, it's certainly catchy. Whether it's an accurate description of Harry and Meghan's post-royal life is a completely different question, and one that will probably continue to fuel debate for years to come. So, what do you think? Could a potential change in the Sussexes Montecito situation simply be a normal lifestyle decision, or do you think it signals a bigger change for Harry and Meghan? And if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce really do end up becoming Montecito residents, would that make the neighborhood even more of a celebrity hotspot? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next royal and celebrity update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.